Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this emergency live broadcast. I've got a really good one for you today. Why did we vote for Donald Trump? Think about it. Why did we give him a mandate? Why did we give him all 7 swing states? Why did we give him the popular vote? Why did we give him Congress? Why did we give him a majority in the Senate? Why is it that every single state, county, district in the nation shifted red in historic numbers? Because we are seeing globalism creep into our country, from the open border to the sanctions to the economy. We are seeing globalism, this satanic ideology that wants to control you, your money, your children, their education. We have been witnessing it creep into our country and take our liberty and freedom away from us. But Donald Trump, in just 4 days, has destroyed globalism once and for all. And well, for all, that's a strong sense of word, but for the next decade at least. He has already secured the southern border. Mass arrests and deportation of illegal immigrants has already begun. His cabinet picks are being voted in, and so much more. Just like every single year, the Satan-worshiping globalists met at Davos, the World Economic Forum, to talk about how they're going to make us eat bugs, to talk about how they are going to control us in every aspect of our lives and society. And Donald Trump made an appearance on screen. And Donald Trump told them, America is back. We are not a globalist country. We are not a socialist country. We are run by patriots. We love freedom. We love sovereignty. Trump took us out of the World Health Organization. Trump took us out of the Paris climate scam. Trump took us out of the Open Society Agreement, which is open borders. And he told them to their face, no more crap. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Please do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification buttons on so you're notified every time I upload. Leave me a comment. How's your day going? Where are you watching me from? And let's get right into it. First things first. Before we're actually going to watch Trump's speech, but I want to show you this beautiful moment. J.D. Vance participates in swearing-in ceremony for the new CIA director, John Ratcliffe.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have you here. I'm thrilled to be joined, of course, by our incoming director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe, as well as his lovely wife, Michelle. And I will say that John is a great patriot, a guy that has the trust of the president, and I think really believes deeply in the mission, first of all, of keeping Americans safe.
So John Ratcliffe is Donald Trump's pick for CIA director. And guess what? He is now officially the CIA director. Now, before we continue, by the way, Trump is right now in conversations with Ukraine and Russia. They should be meeting within the next few days to settle the war. Another huge progress. Really quickly, a big shout out to the sponsor of today's live, that is VERITY Metals. Would you like to get some free silver, ladies and gentlemen? Well, thanks to VERITY Metals, when you call them and say that Vlad sent you, and on qualifying orders, they will give you free silver, American 1-ounce silver eagles. You could get 1, you could get 100, depending on your order. They do IRAs, 401ks, cash, and retirement plans. Call 480-717-9081. Mention Vlad, get free silver. Boom, that easy. Let's watch. I want to watch Trump's speech. It was amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States,
The president.
Donald J. Trump.
Well, thank you very much, Klaus, and hello to everyone in beautiful Davos. This has been a truly historic week in the United States. 3 days ago, I took the oath of office and we began the golden age of America. The recent presidential election was won by millions of votes, and all seven, every one of them, all seven swing states. It was a massive mandate from the American people like hasn't been seen in
I love when he says that. He's just rubbing it into Kamala's face.
many years. And some of the political pundits, even some of my so-called enemies, said it was the most consequential election victory in 129 years. That's quite nice. What the world has witnessed in the past 72 hours is nothing less than a revolution of common sense. Our country will soon be stronger, wealthier, and more united than ever before, and the entire planet will be more peaceful and prosperous as a result of this incredible momentum and what we're doing and going to do. My administration is acting with unprecedented speed to fix the disasters we've inherited from a totally inept group of people and to solve every single crisis facing our country. This begins with confronting the economic chaos caused by the failed policies of the last administration. Over the past 4 years, our government racked up $8 trillion in wasteful deficits.
By the way, I don't know if you know about breaking news. Donald Trump has signed an executive order to release the, what are they? The JFK, MLK, and RFK files. As soon as they go public, I will go live right away and go through them with you. Breaking news, FYI.
Spending and inflicted nation-wrecking energy restrictions, crippling regulations, and hidden taxes like never before. The result is the worst inflation crisis in modern history and sky-high interest rates for our citizens and even throughout the world. Food prices and the price of almost every other thing known to mankind went through the roof. President Biden totally lost control of what was going on in our country, but in particular with our high inflation economy and at our border. Because of these ruinous policies, total government spending this year is $1.5 trillion higher than was projected to occur when I left office just 4 years ago. Likewise, the cost of servicing the debt is more than 230% higher than was projected in 2020. The inflation rate we are inheriting remains 50% higher than the historic target. It was the highest inflation probably in the history of our country. That's why from the moment I took office, I've taken rapid action to reverse each and every one of these radical left policies that created this calamity, in particular with immigration, crime, and inflation. On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government
Foreign aid freeze for at least 90 days. And he's talking to the globalists that are all about making your country go poor by giving all your money to third world countries. And he's telling them no more.
Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam.
The World Economic Forum are the creators of the Green New Deal. And he's looking at them to their face and saying, it's the Green New Scam.
Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and it's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. My administration has also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history, far exceeding even the record-setting efforts of my last term. In total, the Biden administration imposed $50,000 in additional regulatory costs on the average American household over the last 4 years. I have promised to eliminate 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which will soon put many thousands of dollars back in the pockets of American families. To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency, are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family, and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original.
So the World Economic Forum is all about high taxes. Trump, on the biggest stage to all these businessmen and women that talk about high taxes but are super rich and don't want to pay high taxes, he says, we are going to give you the biggest tax cuts anywhere in the world. Bring your business to America. Join the American golden era, the booming age. Bring your business and you will pay some of the lowest taxes in the world. They are going crazy.
Original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA. Already Americans' economic, you can see this, I think, maybe even in your wonderful, wonderful room that you're all gathered together, so many of my friends, but Americans, the economic confidence is soaring like we haven't seen in many, many decades, maybe not at all. Upon my election, it was just announced that small business optimism skyrocketed by 41 points in a single month. That's the highest ever. There's never been anything like that. SoftBank has announced between a $100 and $200 billion investment in the U.S. economy because of the election result. And just 2 days ago, Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI announced a $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure. Other companies likewise have announced billions and billions and billions, adding up to trillions of investment in America, in the United States. And it's also reported today in the papers that Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America. But I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to them. And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down, which frankly, I'm surprised they didn't do before the election. That didn't show a lot of love by them not doing it. I was a little surprised by that. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that that war will continue. You got to bring down the oil price. You got to end that war. They should have done it long ago. They're very responsible, actually, to a certain extent for what's taking place. Millions of lives are being lost. With oil prices going down, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Interest rates should follow us. All over, the progress that you're seeing is happening because of our historic victory in a recent presidential election, one that has become quite well known throughout the world. I think a lot of things are happening to a lot of countries. They say that there's light shining all over the world since the election, and even countries that we aren't particularly friendly with are happy because they understand what there is a future and how great the future will be. Under our leadership, America is back and open for business. And this week, I'm also taking swift action to stop the invasion at our southern border. They allowed people to come in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It was ridiculous. I decided and declared to do, and very, very importantly, a national emergency on our border, immediately halted all entry of illegal border crossers, of which there were many, and began promptly returning the illegal trespassers back to the place from which they came. That action, as you've probably seen, has already started very strongly. I've deployed active duty U.S. military and National Guard troops to the border to assist in repelling the invasion. It was really an invasion. We will not allow our territory to be violated. After 4 long years, the United States is strong and sovereign and a beautiful nation. Once again, it's a strong, sovereign nation. In addition, I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress. We have saved free speech in America, and we've saved it strongly. With another historic executive order this week, I also ended the weaponization of law enforcement against the American people and, frankly, against politicians, and restored the fair, equal, and impartial rule of law. My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense throughout the government and the private sector. With the recent yet somewhat unexpected great Supreme Court decision just made, America will once again become a merit-based country. You have to hear that word, merit-based country. And I've made it official, an official policy of the United States, that there are only 2 genders, male and female. And we will have no men participating in women's sports, and transgender operations, which became the rage, will occur very rarely. Finally, as we restore common sense in America, we're moving quickly to bring back strength and peace and stability abroad. I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago. It was only at 2%, and most nations didn't pay until I came along. I insisted that they pay, and they did, because the United States was really paying the difference at that time, and it was unfair to the United States. But many, many things have been unfair for many years to the United States. Before even taking office, my team negotiated a ceasefire agreement in the Middle East, which wouldn't have happened without us, as I think most of the people in the room know. Earlier this week, the hostages began to return to their families. They are returning, and it's a beautiful sight, and they'll be coming in more and more. They started coming back on Sunday. Our efforts to secure a peace settlement between Russia and Ukraine are now hopefully underway. It's so important to get that done. That is an absolute killing field. Millions of soldiers are being killed. Nobody's seen anything like it since World War II. They're laying dead all over the flat fields. It's a flat field farmland, and there's millions of Russians and millions of Ukrainians. And nobody's seen anything like it since World War II. It's time to end it. And here in America, we have big events coming up. Next year, we have the 250th anniversary of America's founding. I'm so honored to be president during that. That's been a big event. They've been talking about it for 10 years. We also have the World Cup. And I understand Gianni's in the room. Infantino, he was very instrumental in helping us get it. He's there with you someplace, I think. And I want to thank him for that. And then we have the Olympics coming up, which I was instrumental in getting also in my first term. And who would have known that by skipping a term, I would get the Olympics? I was upset. I said, you know, I got the Olympics to come and I won't be president. But it turned out through a stroke of luck, or whatever you might call it, that I'm going to be president during the World Cup and the Olympics and the 250th anniversary. So that's going to be 3 big events. and we've accomplished more in less than 4 days. We have really been working 4 days than other administrations have accomplished in 4 years, and we're just getting started. It's really an amazing thing to see, and the spirit and the light over our country has been incredible. Under the last administration, our nation has suffered greatly, but we're going to bring it back and make it greater, bigger, stronger, better than ever before. I want to thank everybody for being with you. I would have been there myself, except the inauguration was 2 days ago. I thought it might be a little bit quick to make it the first stop, but we'll get there one day. We hope to get there. But I do appreciate, I heard the audience is fantastic, and many of my friends are in the audience, and I will be taking questions now from some very distinguished people. Thank you all very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I understand about Trump. This guy is amazing when it comes to making a deal. So he's on the monitor. He speaks against open borders. He speaks against the Green New Scam. He speaks against wars. He just like trashes the entire event. And then at the end of it, he just gives them a bunch of these, oh, yeah, but you guys are amazing. I wish I was there. He understands. It's like he tells everything right to their face, but he understands. At the end, you got to cheer them up a little bit so that they don't totally hate you, so that then there's a little opening, like they at least feel welcome to come and do business in America. You got to understand him from a business perspective. He's like, look, if you're going to come to me trying to push electric cars, only electric cars, screw you, don't come here. But then, and then he says, but you guys are all my friends, so come to me, just not with the BS. It's amazing. So I'm just excited. We are finally at the beginning of the golden age of America. These 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, are gonna fly by. Have a plan, have a strategy. What do you want to do these next 4 years? Start putting plans together and taking little steps. For me, I've decided I am going all in on this building a media company. So I've been doing YouTube for 4 years, but I've always wanted a media company where we talk about, right? We can have different podcasts and different people and daily live shows and evening shows and morning shows and build a website. These next 4 years, I'm diving in, and first thing I got to do is build up a good audience. And I love you guys. Those have been with me from the very beginning, from 2021 up until now. But I really believe right now is we have an opportunity to build something that will last the next 100 years, that can outlive us. And I want to build something that stands for truth, that stands for America first, Christian principles. And we're going to see. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I saw this comment, Mark. Mark, my friend, we cousins. Mr. Mark A. Stills, you are my cousin. Do you not remember me? I have Russian-Ukrainian roots, but I've never lived in Russia, Ukraine. Born in Kyrgyzstan, much worse than Russia, Ukraine. So if you take Kyrgyzstan and you compare it to living in Russia or Ukraine, it's like America in a third world country. Yeah, so like Russia would be like the United States, and Kyrgyzstan is like Nigeria, I don't know, Kenya. Yeah, but my friend, I remember you. You used to be very small, run under the tables, yes. I do have a good Russian accent when I want to. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. God bless the greatest country in the world. We're going to do good. In Jesus' name, MAGA country.